I hope you all are doing well this morning. Ooh, I'm sorry, Claire. My bad. I didn't mean to scare you, old lady. Good morning. Um. So we do it 5 times. 5. Oh, it only does it 4. Anyway, hi. Sorry, my brain is literally all over the place today. Good morning. We're doing some body doubling today. Um, my goal for today is simply read. I've already fed the cats. I've already eaten breakfast. I ate breakfast like early. I'll probably go in here and fix me like a snack or something. Um, Maybe some water, whatever. But yeah, I've taken my vitamins. The only thing I need to do at this point is take my meds. Um, but other than that, I'm just gonna read. Um, my goal is I'm gonna tell you my goals. I'm gonna add them as I tell you because I think that it's important for me to do that. So the graphic novel that I'm currently reading is called Day Tripper. And I'm about 50% of the way, 46% of the way or so through with it. So my goal is to finish Day Tripper. I think it might take me a little bit, maybe not. It might not take me too long if I, hunker down. And the goal is to enjoy it, not to finish it, but to enjoy it. I'm enjoying it thus far. But finish Day Tripper. And then the other goal is to start the book club book for the month, which is On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. Excuse me. This book is in 3 parts. And it is only about 186 pages, barely 200 pages. At least the version that I have. So I'm gonna say part 1. Read part 1 of On Earth We Briefly Gorgeous. And then like this, me reading the book club book isn't just me reading, since like I'll be a part of it, whatever. The goal for me is to take notes while I'm reading. Day Tripper is a little bit different because it's like an enjoyment read, and so is this second book that I'll be starting. But because it is a book club book, it is imperative that I make notes about it. And also it's kind of hard to make notes about a graphic novel. For me anyway, other than like bookmarking pages that are like profound to me. That's just me. But yeah, I think I briefly had said something last time about let me actually add this because I'm gonna forget. But my book club goal for the year, I mean not my book club, but my book year was like 80 books. Currently at 69. Per Storygraph, I think. So yeah, I mean we're close. We're like 86% of the way, and then with me finishing the graphic novel, we'll be at 70, and then I'll be 10 books left. I've got a couple books that I'm looking forward to reading. So, I've got some books lined up in my repertoire, if you will. Books trade. Um, I usually start the year out kind of like this, where I'm like planning books. Usually, when I hit like the middle of the year, I'm not really planning books. I'm kind of just picking them up and reading them. But when I get to the end of the year, I kind of plan things out, and especially because what tends to happen to me is I go really hard in the beginning of the year. There's like a very small break for me shortly after that, and then I'm just reading a lot in the middle of the year. Um, and then I get reading fatigue where I don't read for like a month or two, and then like the last few months is just me trying to find a way to to get like my reading goals done, but in an enjoyable way. And what usually happens for me is I usually pick up um, graphic novels, and graphic novels are a really good way for me personally, um, because I really like comic books. There were books they were things that I wasn't really able to read when I was a kid. Like my parents weren't really like I don't I mean some of you might know this. I think I've said this before in the making of this channel, this page, this stream, is that the reason why I made the stream is that I wasn't allowed to play video games when I was growing up, and that is the same for comics, like reading comics and like graphic novels and stuff like that. As well as like watching animated things. So a lot of the things that I read now are, you know, me trying to like take back my childhood, and I don't really care for superhero comics. Um, I just haven't found one that tickles my fancy. You had a bad October slump. Listen, I don't know what it is about October, because I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. I did not read Immortal Dark. Was I pushing for people to read it who wanted to read it because I wanted to make sure people met their goals? Absolutely. But did I read Immortal Dark? I did not. Dang, you should start keeping track of how many works you read for the year. Listen, I think it's a really good way to. For me, the way that book tracking is also sort of kind of like memory keeping. Um, I am absolutely terrible. Deanna can tell you this. I'm terrible at memory keeping. Um, because I don't like take pictures a lot. I'm really shit about taking photos. I'm really shit about like photographing things in my life. But I can absolutely tell you that when I read a book, I can tell you what was happening in my life. Or like I can tell you that when I was thinking about a book, um, like what was going on in my life. Like some of you might know that Trent and I, at the beginning of the year, as well as like the latter part of the year of last year, and even River and I, um, but specifically in this particular instance, Trent and I were buddy reading a lot of Boys Love, Dan May type books. And what ended up happening was it was really like Trent, we said we were gonna read this, we said we were gonna read a book. And Trent ended up like reading it and then running with it. But then I got into like a reading slump. And like with the topics that we were reading, like they weren't hard or whatever, but it was just there were so many books in the series, and he's absolutely completely done with the series. It's Heaven Official's Blessing. And even though I'm adoring the story, I'm absolutely loving the story and I love the characters. Trent is absolutely done with all 8 books. I, on the other hand, I just finished, not even just, but I finished book 4 and I was like, oh girl, we're gonna have to pause. So You need to finish Heaven Officials. Listen, I got to the beginning of book 5 and I was like, okay, I need to pause on Heaven Officials Blessing. So this is me taking a break on Dan May for a second. What got me out of my reading slump, ironically, let me pull it. I can tell you. The book that got me out of my reading slump was In by Will McPhail. And that was such a weird, thought-provoking graphic novel for me. Because it literally it felt like this story. Hey Shar, how are you doing? It felt like the story was absolutely in my head because I talk a lot about it. Does my title say 13th? Chill. Thank you. Listen, and you know what? Maybe we're gonna add that to the list. Make coffee. Oh, but anyway, thank you, Shar. I appreciate it. But in by I don't know why I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now. I don't know why I want to say Brian. That's not his name. McPhail is the last name. Anyway, oh, there it is. Will McPhail. Why did I have such a hard time with that? Whatever. Will McPhail. It's basically the main character is in his head all the time. He very romanticizes life in his head and basically wants to work up the courage to make interactions more meaningful outside of his head, but he struggles to do that. And like the theme and the thing that keeps reoccurring is like the theme of like a single step or like a small step can make the difference. And like it's so good, but and it's so like weird, witty, and funny. But let me. I think also the other reason why I was so drawn to this is because I had a patient who shares the same name, and I was like, the irony. But it's a really good graphic novel. And I guess for me personally, it also kind of hit home because some of the topics in the graphic novel, I won't spoil it if you're gonna read it, but some of the topics in the graphic novel hit home too, about similar to, you know, when you worked up the courage to do something and then you go to do it or you're about to do it, and then that thing is the thing that you had the courage to do is the opportunity to do that thing is taken away from you. And it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. But, you know, yeah, I would definitely read your trigger warnings. And the trigger warnings are not terrible. But it was very thought provoking. Speaking of books, my mother decided to play a Sony audiobook while you were driving home last night, and I wanted to yeet myself out of the car. Listen. Okay, but did you get the title? Because what was the title of the book? Hi, Alma. Welcome in. Oh my God. Listen. That is so funny. I mean, it's not. I'm not. I feel. I hate that you had to deal with that. That you had to go through that. Truly. Yeah, you were so over it. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm gonna actually try my best to speak to you all during the breaks. So because normally I don't, normally I just mute myself. Um, but I think we're gonna do a four. Should we do y'all tell me, or should we do 25-minute session to 5-minute break, or should we do 30-minute session to 10-minute break? I haven't made the decision. Think. Oh, hi, sweetie. Think said girly pop. Title is Vampires Like It Hot. Oh, by Lindsay Sands. Yes, you were already overstimulated because it was to the point where you had already been driving for like 4 hours. Oh, child. And you know what? That's very valid. Let's see. Eventually, and you know what, Tink? I think that some days I feel as though you don't know what you want from yourself because what are we doing? My little dragon. You almost hit 2 deer yesterday, so that added to the stress. Oh, and you know what? Very fair. That's very valid. Extremely valid, actually. You know what? I'm thinking we should just do 25 to 5. Is that? Yeah, I don't know how these work. Ooh. Before we get started though, and then our long break will be 30 minutes. Can I just? No, I think we should just. And I mean, how does this feel? You mean 5 to 10 minutes would work? You feel for a break? Yeah. This is so weird. We're gonna go in the middle. I know this is so weird. Listen, we make our own rules. We're gonna go like 7 minutes as a break. Yeah. I think that is such a weird time. God, but see, the ADHD is making me be like, baby, that's an odd number. Girl, and you know what? Hold on. What would y'all be doing for your little because I'm gonna be honest, I don't until I started co-working streaming, I never really used this timer. What is this? Commodore. Put y'all 25, 5 minutes. Take a longer 15 to 30. So how I had it. 25 to 5, and then we'll say, we'll say 30, whatever. All right. I'm terrible at stuff like that. Listen, I'm terrible at decision making, so honestly, truly, we're all just. Anyway, I'm gonna start the timer now. Take your medicine, drink your water, eat your breakfast. And if you haven't taken your insulin, take it. For my diabetics out there, my fellow diabetics, take your insulin, child. I'm looking at myself as I'm looking at my belly. And if it's your shot day, take your shot. All of my trans besties, or anybody who takes hormones for whatever reason. And if it's your shot day, take your shot, honey. I take mine early. Yeah, but anyway, take your shots. Take your medicine. And yeah, we're gonna start the timer. Anyway, I'll see y'all in 25 minutes. right, people. We are on a break. A little bit of a break. Actually, run a quick ad. Meantime, but I would also implore you to stretch and all that. Get you some water. You know, I'm actually gonna make that pot of coffee that I said I was gonna do or before. I got suckered into the book. I'm truly it's grabbing me by the teeth, honey. So honestly, actually, let's see what little pet we get. Oh, he's so cute. Oh my god, it's actually really good. Ursa. Figured I'll do this stuff now. More hints have been added. Surely. I love these little drawings. Different creatures. Chapter pillar. Stop it. Stop it. It's Photon. It's Photon. Warrior. Stop it. Warrior. This is extra. Oh, this is so cute. see if I can make. I think it said something about. Might have read that wrong. welcome back from the break or from the session or whatever the hell. Let us see. I am 70% done with this graphic novel, and so I'm quickly learning that. I mean, not currently now, but I learned quickly that this graphic novel that I'm reading now is basically reliving, or a person like reliving multiple iterations of their life at different time points of their life. And it is very interesting because it's like every instance of their life is the same, but like it's like the scenarios end differently at the different stages based on just what feels like random changes. But it's great. It's I like it. I mean, and I like it simply because you can tell in this particular time, in this particular life, quote unquote, what has influenced that person based off of their past ones. Really interesting. And I don't even know that none of what I'm saying, first of all, none of what I'm saying is gonna make sense. But it's I really enjoy graphic novels because the storytelling is so good. And sometimes, for me anyway, like my brain is set up in a way that I need to just see the setting and let the words of the dialogue or whatever back information that I need do what they need to do, but I need the visual. Whereas like with regular words or like with regular reading and writing, you know, we as the reader, it is up to us to imagine, use what the writer gives us to imagine, you know, whatever it is. That's great, that's wonderful, whatever. I have a problem with it. But, you know. Yeah, I think it's written by Fabio. I think the text is Fabio. And then illustrated. Gabrielle. That's what I'm currently reading. In case you're wondering. Pretty good. Oh, excuse me. Tinkering? The sounds of tinkering? No. Yeah. back to reading we go. Welcome to the final short break. I hope y'all are doing well. Probably getting a lot of work done. Ironically, I'm still on Day Tripper and actually not mad about it. It's a lot lengthier than I had anticipated. This is a reminder to take a sip of some water if you need it. Also drink or not drink. It just says I'm on water. Stretch if you can and you're able. Around if you can. And step away from your computer. You've been sitting at it all morning. It's only. I know for me it's like 11:50, about 12 o'clock, but. Take your lunch break. Don't neglect your lunch break. I know that we don't, or that a lot of people have stopped using Goodreads. This is a really random topic, but I know a lot of people have stopped using Goodreads because of their obvious connection to Amazon these days. But I really like, one of the things that I personally like about Goodreads, the only reason why I actually have a Goodreads account, is their challenge. Their challenges they have, especially the ones that are curated more towards the special months, American Heritage, Hispanic Heritage Month, stuff like that. And then they have a curated list of books by authors, in those categories. And a lot of times that's how a lot of people find authors of color or authors. I really wish they did one for authors. Personally. Now they might have in the past and I just that. But I really like those because that's how a lot of times I find new authors to read. And generally what I would do is go to the catalogs or whatever articles they have, and then go back to Storygraph and look at the reviews and stuff from folks on Storygraph. And that's how I kind of process. Use the two platforms or whatever. And that's also how I kind of pick what I read too. I wish Storygraph, and maybe they're gonna be better about it here. They're continuing to grow, and they're a smaller company, but I do wish that their challenges were a little more intuitive. I might be a little bit I might just not be looking in the right places, and that could totally be on me. Um, excuse me. That was a tangent, but um, anyway, that was the ADHD. Forgive me. We have gone back into working, so I will see y'all after for the long break. Then we can kind of chat a little bit longer. Maybe I'll have finished this book and tell you my thoughts about it. Okay, well, I see that the long break has started. And I just finished Day Tripper. Jesus. Not in a bad way. All wrong. That was a very, very, very good graphic novel. It's one I might have to physically buy. Because that was very profound. One of the end I guess notes from the author. So the authors of the book, the author and the illustrator of the book, they're twins. But the note says that firmly based on reality, the most difficult thing wasn't trying to create a world that would look real, but the hardest thing was creating a world that would feel real. Every reference, every photo, every color, and every character, everything was made to try to reproduce feelings that are happy, alive, lonely, afraid, or in love. We wanted that feeling that life was happening right there in front of us, and we were living it, and we did live it. And sometimes we die to prove that we live. And you know, I get a little choked up a bit at the end. Apps. This is very good. Fantastic graphic. This is very much a 5-star. it is. I've noticed that, like, for me, this year has been a year of grief, and I think that a lot of the things that I have done this year, a lot of the things that I've read, or a lot of the media that I have interacted with have been centered around death specifically. Um, and as the year is closing out, I feel like this um is a very good way to sort of wrap up, and I'm saying wrap up very loosely, but wrap up my feelings, some of the things that I've had to do with death wise, and I think that because like death, like one of the things that this book talks about is like death is inevitable, but the thing that happens before that, and that's all. I'm going to go to the restroom, make me some coffee, make me a cup of coffee. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. If you are, I know I've talked a lot about what I'm reading, but is there anything that you all are reading or that you're interested in, something that you're interested in reading? You might want to share with the class. Because if not, you know me, I could talk about all of the things that I plan to read. What ain't a thing to me. I mean, and not even necessarily books, but is there games that y'all games or movies, TV shows? I don't really partake in any movies or TV shows. You're finishing Sea Scraper. Maya and I are trying to buddy read. Oh, Cababasis or Catabasis or Did you read Babel? You can't add more to your list with how many books, manga, manhwa, yeah, manhwa. You read, you're overwhelmed. Listen, I resonate with that. I heavily resonate with that because gotcha. I've really been trying to get into my queer lit bag because currently thinking you read over 100 actively updating. So you really are going through it, honey. And you know what? You are in my thoughts. If actively updating means you are constantly getting cliffhanger to hell. I just know it. But the ones they're currently reading are too good to drop. I get it. This is why you would never catch me reading anything actively updating when it comes to manga or manhwa, because the way, like right now, me and Trent are reading oh, I can see it. Hold on. Trent, what are we reading? It's the Got 2 volumes out right now. Now, why is this not showing me my book? It is probably. Where do I go to? I feel. Oh, here it is. Profile. Recently read. Give me my recently read. Well, not that, because I had to put that down. That's kind of. Semantic error. Jesus. Semantic error. We're reading semantic error, but that's not done. And the way I need semantic error to be completed and published ASAP. So I think the 3rd volume is out now. You try to get them at least 10 chapters out before you read them. Though I get sucked into a new one. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Wait, Sharon, did semantic error 3, 4, and 5 come out? Hold on. No, I'm tripping. I have got to be tripping. Hold on. Listen, don't. And Jay's story, come to the front because
I try to remember.
That
But when everything is coming back to me, I feel as if my memory is paralyzed.
hyperventilation.
What is the last thing you can remember?
I don't know.
You know, I'm starting to believe this is not the same. You honestly wish you could take a break and pick up one of the many books you need to start and finish that I have packed at the moment. That's so funny that you say that because there's a book that I have had that I literally purchased this book through, I think it was like the book of the month book subscription. When I was like when I was in college. And I have yet to read this book. It is literally sitting in my living room in one of my boxes. Right. And the reason that I have not picked this book up is that it's a Mississippi author And I already know she's gonna be talking about some stuff that is very relevant to my life, like two things that to my state, like whatever. Well, when I was looking at one of the Goodreads challenges, I don't remember what challenge prompt it was for, but the book is in the thing. So I said, I know myself enough to know that I'm not unpacking. So what I did was I went to the library, got the book from the library, and check the book out. Because here's the thing, if I give myself a deadline, if I know that by December 3rd I have to have this book read in the library, it's getting read. It's getting read. I don't know, something about an official deadline. Oh, I did not say the title, I'm sorry. The book is called Sing Unburied Sing by Jasmine Ward. Here, I'll play it. And the wildest part about it is I have no doubt that this book is going to be fantastic. Yes. I have no doubts and no qualms and no crumbs about the fact that that book is probably going to eat. Especially when it comes to the topic of the book. I have no qualms that it's going to eat, honey. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. But that's why I'm hoping the fact that I got from the library is really good. Because I had done an unhaul some time ago where I was like, okay, I have to get rid of the books that I feel like I'm only keeping because I'm forcing myself to read. And this was one of the books that I was like, okay, I know I'm not forcing myself to read this book. I literally got the book because I wanted to read it, you know? And I still want to read it. So, I guess this is my reminder to people. Honey, don't read a book you feel like you force yourself to read. Child, if you don't dig up that book, we're considering that one. But have home going already. Where you're going with that one? Oh yeah. What challenge was it for? I don't remember the challenge it was for. That's the problem. Was it the community pick one? Child, I need a, this is why I want to do my own planner. Oh yeah, fiction faves. There we go. When I do my own planner situation, I'm gonna make a section in my planner that I can always come back to to keep up with the books that I have picked for challenges. Because I always get lost. Like, I'm like, oh, I remember that book for that challenge or that book for that challenge. Because it really just depends on like what's available from my library or like what's on Unlimited, or is my physical library gonna have it, or is my library digital app gonna have it. It's just kind of like dependent on those things. I also think that I'm gonna start next week for real on doing my planner for the new year, like working on my planner setup. You add them to your TBR, but forget which ones you're attached to. Yes, it's time to get to read. That's also like I really like um the feature. What am I trying to say? Oh my god. The thought lost me as I was about to say it. I feel like that's fine. Interior. It's been some stew. I don't remember what I was gonna say. I guess that's fine. But I know that. Oh, I was trying to say, I think what I picked for the challenges this time was mostly queer books. Because I always, let me tell you something. I have started to hate reading non-queer romances because they get so bland. Yeah, listen, it gets so bland sometimes, and I'm like, baby, what are we doing? Like, don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. Like, I was actually very shocked to find that and you can't do hetero romance, they are just boring and predictable in the worst way. Listen. Yeah. I'm an idiot. I just literally looked at this to see that I had a book that I was looking for in the library. I literally have it on my Kindle. I'm so happy I did. I don't really got nothing else for y'all, but I'm enjoying just talking. I mean, I guess we'll just chat and chill for a little. Got nowhere to be. actually also want to be engaging in more diversity when it comes to all forms of media. Like I want to see more stories about LGBTQIA plus people, like myself, because growing up we never saw. All we ever saw was her up. Yes, absolutely. Like I find myself sometimes going out of my way to look for media like that. And sometimes I have to ask myself, like why do I do that? Because sometimes I think like, oh, that's because here's the thing. I want stories where like my experience or like the queer experience or like the trans experience or whatever center of the story. Like I want that to just be, sometimes I just want that to just be a thing that happens part of the story. Right? Like I do think that stories like that are like really important. Like for a great example of this is there's a I have got to, but there's someone on Instagram that I follow. I don't remember the name of the artist, but they are working on a comic right now where the premise of the comic is it's following their two like original characters, and they both are trans men who like meet for the second time in their lives post transition. Well, one has transitioned and the other is in the process of transitioning. And they've known each other, or they've met each other in the past in like at their Catholic all girls school that they went to. And from what I remember, if I'm remembering it correctly, one of the characters used to bully the other. And it's so, like, that is so interesting to me. Because it's obvious that, like, there was the reasoning behind the bullying was, like, misplacing of feelings, not quite at such a young age. It was bad, right? And so now that they're an adult and have sort of their feelings and everything like that, it's like now they're confronted with this person from their past who reminds them of this version of themselves that one, they don't really align with, but also this version of themselves that they are sort of ashamed of, in the fact that they were a bully, but also like it's so good. But I said all that to say, y'all know me, the tangents. I mentioned that artist because there is a story bit from the universe of those characters that I saw a couple weeks ago. I think it was for Dia de los Muertos, where the character who is currently in transition is setting up the ofrenda, or is looking at the ofrenda for their grandmother, and they're mentioning to their love interest that about how much they really love their grandmother and how they never mentioned to their grandmother about their gender identity or their sexuality because they knew that grandmother never accepted people of the lifestyle that they are living. Even though they knew that their grandmother really loved them, that is the part of them that they knew they couldn't share with their grandmother. And what's crazy about that to me is, like, even though I know that I'm sure that my grandmother would never feel that way, I'm sure that she would not mind me transitioning at all. I'm sure she would still love me for who I am. Because she died so early on, I was never able to tell her about my sexuality or my gender. So I do have a lot of questions about, if she were to see me now, like what she would say. And so, like, it's stuff like that that is the reason why we read, right? Is like to connect with the real experiences that we as people have with each other in our everyday life and things like that. And so it's just like seeing that makes me be like, damn, like having that, I would have not had that same thought or that same like provoking of feelings if I had not had that artist, if that artist had not made that comment. Because you can't get that from a cis hetero person making a comic about cis hetero people, right? Like, you just can't. And so I was just like, damn, that's crazy. That's wild. But anyway, when there's tangents, friends, I think I'm gonna go play The Sims. As wild as that sounds. I think I'm gonna go play The Sims. I was gonna send y'all to someone, but there's not anybody. Why? He's not right now. Mm-hmm. Verify that. Yeah, no. I think that's it. Well, I appreciate you all for spending some time reading with me. Just chilling or hanging out or doing whatever. You all have been wonderful. Even though I will not be live, I will probably be playing some games with Shar on Sunday as well. Yeah, I don't forget. Yeah, maybe around noon Eastern Standard Time, 11 Central Standard Time. We're gonna be playing the game together. I'm actually really, really excited for this game. I think I did a demo on this channel for this game, if I remember right. Y'all will have to just wait and see Sunday. So make sure you go and follow Char. You don't miss out on that. And yeah, I'll see y'all Sunday. Have a great one. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you are able to rest and relax and get all the things done that you want to. And if you don't get those things done, you just have fun. You know, it's Friday. Let's just see y'all later.